Okay, I think we are live. Just thought I'd start on roll 20. Um, Show you I'm not that much of a noob. I've played 2,300 hours in various campaigns. This is obviously the one I'm working on at the moment. Uh, we'll have a look at what happened last game, what I thought I could have done better, and yeah, what worked and what didn't, and if you refer to the one beforehand, you'll sort of get an idea of what I was trying to do and what I was going for, and hopefully, yeah, pick up some stuff that you think is good. Um, so we started. Well, technically, we started just in the arena. I'll just turn off the fog of war so we can see everything. Take off. There we go. That's a bit better. Yeah. So basically, we started in this room. Um, that black circle is me making an error. Um, I didn't realize that once you drew something, put it on the map level, it just melds with the background. But anyway, these are our player characters here. They started. This is the cellar from the house that I mentioned previously that we were going to do, Thunderstaff Manor, and they relatively quickly found the cellar. They did have detect magic going, and they could sense a magical aura below this. And I'll show you the altar, which got covered in the blackness. So if we go to the map background, you can see there's there's something there. I'll put it on the token layer so you can see it a bit better. Yeah, I just move that. It's basically the demonic altar that they were using as a focus to destroy, to basically create the rift that's happening now. So now if we go to token layers, hopefully I can move this one. I didn't put this one on the map layer. I didn't think. Oh, I did. Okay. Yeah. So this is just a token for magical darkness. I didn't really. Yeah, I didn't have anything else once this didn't work. These wooden spoons are Drut the priest's spiritual weapon. And these guys here represent the Blackabashis that we mentioned. These guys here, which worked out really well. This part of it worked out awesome. So they came down here, they searched through this area really tentatively, and all the while there was this red lava light coming through here. And they were looking, they didn't want to move too quickly. And then basically, I'll just delete this, but basically as they got around here, and down here, this is where the alchemist and his, I don't want to say it incorrectly, Yugoloth? Where is it? Ultraloth?
Ultraloth.
There you go, Ultraloth. That's where the Ultraloth was walking the alchemist down, and these are the characters I use for them. I'm using all free assets and stuff I found, so nothing's too high tech. It's mostly like this. I rarely use maps for exploration and stuff like that. I just describe the rooms and people decide what they want to do. But once it gets into this sort of thing where it's starting to get into the end of this arc of the storyline, I like to have a bit of visual reference so nothing's missed. It's a bit more precise. Anyway, so they sort of came in through here. As they got here, the alchemist did his little speech, said, "Oh, we're gonna, what have we got here?" And then looks behind them and says, "Kill them and get them out of here." And so then the two Abashis were here and here, in the corners, and immediately cast magical darkness over this area. Fortunately, the Black Abashis, that they can move their magical darkness. It's called creeping darkness. And that's why I had this circle, because I thought, I can move the circle around, but I couldn't. Anyway, the bard Esmeralda, she cast fear on them. One of them failed the saving throw, ran off. The other one passed and just started wailing on these guys. Meanwhile, V, the sorcerer, ran down here and was trying to attack these guys. But they basically, as they said that, they got the highest initiative and just kept walking down this way. And I made them very nonchalant, because I knew it would be very hard for these guys to catch up to them. So these guys were all here. They're fighting, but gradually, one by one, they started coming down through here. And actually, before that, this one's fear wet managed to get out of sight of the bard, passed the saving throw, and ran back. Made it to here. Unfortunately, he didn't regain his darkness ability, and the fighter quickly dispatched him, because he was already he'd already taken a few attacks as he ran past. The next sequence was these guys coming down here. Esmeralda tried to loot the body, but there was nothing really on these guys. They're just bodyguards. And these guys started making their way down here, which I then moved over to the lava map, which I discussed earlier. This lava map, awesome. It's a great idea, if I do say so myself. This Abashi managed to make it over to this map and kept harassing the guys like along here, whereupon finally Esmeralda came down and cast sleep, and the Abashi was on low enough hit points that it just immediately passed out, which I didn't really check its immunities as well as I should. Let me just check now to see if I embarrass myself and am at the wrong thing, because it's hard with the where's the Abashis? Okay. No, he's only got poisoned acid fire poison. Yeah, so he's not immune to sleep. So anyway, he this one fell asleep, and Esmeralda tried to do a coup de grace, but didn't quite have enough attack damage, even with the automatic critical that it was. And it woke up, put up a little fight again, managed to hit them again, but immediately died. So the body was left here. Both the alchemist and the Ultraloth were basically doing 30 feet movement. So it was like a timer. They were just like timing themselves walking down here. This wasn't on here yet. And they just walked, calmly down as these guys had to try and make their way down. Once there was no Abashi, the alchemist then tells the Ultra, please, well, not please, but he just says, deal with these guys for me. At which time the Ultraloth, I looked at his spells and I was like, what do I want to cast? And I figured just as big a spell as possible, so I cast Firestorm. And the Firestorm basically went like this, because it has to be touching, so it's 10 10-foot cubes, and at least one side of the cube has to touch another one, another cube. And I managed to hit 2 of the player characters. Esmeralda was way up here. I mean, I might have been able to do like that, but yeah, I was trying to just like carpet bomb them basically. Luckily, both characters made their saving throw and took half damage, so none of them went unconscious, but they did suffer quite massive damage. To which point, I'm not sure if they keep track of their health here or on their own paper. Yeah, no one keeps track of it here, but drop was quite low, and so was Prince. So they made their way down. There's basically a main corridor going down here, this lava tube. These areas here with the lava, I said, are like sort of sunken in, and you've just got this like sort of protuberance riding over the top of it. So they could jump down here if they wanted. This was going to be unstable ground, and there's a chance that it breaks through into the lava and they suffer lots of damage. The lava itself is not normal lava. It is actually created out of creatures. So there's faces and arms and bodies and contorted figures popping up and rising like the roiling magma that you see in videos, but only with like anamorphic faces in it. And the idea is that using the demonic altar as a focal point for this magic, they've converted a whole bunch of bodies that were addicted to this chimera into heat and like melted the rock, and now these bodies have melted into this like magma like substance along with the rock and are just like roiling and boiling in this area. So I did delete it by accident earlier, but there was a plinth down here that I didn't discuss in the last video. It was actually a filled plinth, like this, which they were walking towards, which is actually the last step in activating this. So they walked down here, and then once they got onto the plinth, they got very close, because I think I don't want to move this because we're going to use it again. So it's so once these guys got onto the plinth, the Ultralith turned around and cast mass suggestion, and I got everyone except for Esmeralda, and he just said bow down, and it was only Prince that failed his saving throw, so he had to bow to the alchemist. And with that, they turned. V had a really good go, tried to run up and cast. He tried to cast. What's his favorite spell? Charm Person, but unfortunately, both of these guys are immune. The Ultraloth is specifically immune to charm. But the Alchemist has a lot of immunities that I haven't created him yet, but that's one of them. Because this was just sort of for show, like Prince threw an axe in the Ultraloth. They were shooting a couple magic missiles and guiding bolts and stuff. But this Ultraloth is like super tanky. Like he's got 153 hit points, 19 natural armor class. Yeah. He's got damage resistance to like cold, fire, lightning, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks. He's super tanky. So anyway, they get onto the plinth. The Alchemist does the final incantation to set up this this rift, which is a series of runes lighting up in a circle around them. Once he's set that off, the Ultraloth just did Dimension Door, and they just Dimension Doored out. As they're doing that, I sort of had a bit of creative license with the Dimension Door, and let's see if I can get rid of this. Why is this not allowing me to select it? This is one of the things I find with Roll20, that it's a bit like, I mean, see, like I just had to scroll in, and then all of a sudden I can select these things for some reason. But anyway, with a bit of license from the fantasy realm of Dungeons and Dragons, the Dimension Door, they sort of passed each other. So the Ultraloth and the Alchemist walk through as this enormous hulking figure of the this guy, what's it called?
Nikoloth.
The Nikoloth walked in, and that's basically where I left it for that adventure, because that took about 3 hours. All up. So they are now depleted mostly of spells. They're all fairly healthy in terms of hit points, but they're gonna start having a lot of trouble with this guy. The idea that I've had as I was thinking about this, put it on a weird thing, is basically, just for this escape bit, I'll talk about what's going to happen after this sequence, but I think what we're going to do is, so this is the other thing. This menu only comes up if it's in the right spot. So if you put it up here and you check it, you can't get to this. You got no chance. And as soon as you do that, then you have to go back onto it. These are just little things, but it is kind of annoying. Anyway, but for free, it's not bad. Basically, I've left it, on a fairly good cliffhanger with people. As this is a gradient, it gave me a really good idea that once this plinth lights up, things will just start cracking at the bottom, and this magma will just start rising up and slowly flooding this area with magma. As this creature's chasing them up the thing and they're fighting it, they've also got to slowly retreat and try and get to the back up, and then out of the building, and then out of the area before the rift erupts out. If they can kill this guy in the first 5 turns, they might have a chance of stopping the rift, but I don't think so. I'll let them cast a Dispel Magic if he has one, or try and break apart the rune circle, which they could probably do with a few blows. So that's going to be the initial plan for this. next session. I kind of thought of this as we were playing, and then I was like, oh, we'll leave it with this guy coming out, and it'll be sort of a cliffhanger type thing. He has to be here. So yeah, so that's what we're doing here. So I'm totally happy with the next session going as planned. I think the next thing though is, so they're currently up here at Thunderstaff Villa. Assuming they make it. Once they make it through, the plan is, well, at least I think what they're going to do is they're going to go back to Blackstaff Tower, report to Jadis, who's, my accents aren't very good, but his is more like a French, it's like a French magician. And they'll probably tell him what's happening. He'll also be getting reports from other people about their areas. Basically what's happening is the alchemist is going to various rifts around the area, and is just, he's the only one that can do these rituals. And then he needs this key to fully break apart the huge hellhole that he's trying to create. Once he's done that, it'll be a very different game, because that hellhole will probably be there for the majority of the campaign, and they'll be mostly just running away from Waterdeep, along with most of humanity. But if they managed to get the cipher from one of the demons, one of the other estates down here, Amara. In there was 12 books that contained the cipher. She was collecting them as they found her, and when the small, it's a bit broken up what I'm saying, but basically a couple of episodes ago, they were searching through Amara's ruin, because of they went there a long time ago in the campaign, just got nearly killed and had to run, managed to get away, then went on another quest somewhere else up into Golden Fields, and came back and was like, well, let's go try and check out this place and see if we can find anything. So it was already abandoned because it had already been found by them, but they were still planning on opening the rift, which these guys didn't actually check the basement again. Like, they did check it the first time, they saw everything, but they still didn't quite understand what they were. But anyway, they found Amara with these books. She was going to be picking up the cipher, and you can't see me, but I'm putting air quotes up. They thought it was an instrument. It was actually a gnome who is good at cracking codes and reading ciphers, basically. They captured him. They grabbed the books. They took it to Blackstaff Tower, where they set the cipher to work. And basically, he cracked the code. He realized that some of the pages have a metallic ink on them that was magically bound to the pages. He just had to burn those pages. The metal slowly melted down, and he had a crucible that he melted it down into. And then there was instructions on one of the pages for molding a key. Here's one of the secrets of Dungeons and Dragons. I actually don't know what the key is going to be for. The idea is that it's going to unlock something, but I haven't actually, sussed out exactly what it's going to be. But it's important to have things like that, I think, where the players are are finding. They feel like they're finding stuff. Like they feel like there's some sort of mystical stuff going on. They can't explain it. I mean, even I can't explain it at the moment. But I know there will be something there that they find. Sorry, I'm just drinking lots of water because my throat's going. Basically, the idea is, so far, I'm actually going to go back to Roll20 and we're going to do a bit of scouting. We'll go to this is the whole map that I found. It's not very good resolution, but that's okay. I'm just going to mark out on here where these things are. So we found one here. There was one here, which is now like a large sort of rift that's going like this. It melted this part of the wall. There was one up here. Judges told them about one they found in this area. Like, I think it was around here in the fields. And then there was another one that, well, there was another one here, but it got moved because the players found it so early. And then Amara's place is here. So joining those up is pretty hard. This is, again, I've been making this stuff up, so it's not exact science. DMing never should be. If you've planned out like your next 4 episodes, you're insane, because you can sketch outlines. That's about it. You can't fill in details, because I mean, this sort of stuff maybe I should have done, but the players might not have even done this. I might have set all this up and then they're like, hey, let's go to Daggerford, and then that would have been it. So now I've actually got the hooks in them. They're eager to finish this now. Whereas in the beginning it was tentative. Do we really care about this? Are we really interested in this? Especially with experienced players, like me and my friends, together, playing D&D together, we've probably been playing for 25 years, something like that. So they have a really meta knowledge of storylining and stuff. So if they smell something too obvious, like I tried to get them to do a rescue mission down here. Where was it? Yeah, here. Some guy came up and he's like, my friend's missing, help me. And they just told him to F off, and basically stole the money that he was going to give them and then kicked him out the door. So it's not always it's not always as easy to just like think, oh, this is the thing I thought of and now I'm going to make a storyline out of it. So let's say this is the shape we've got so far. What can we make out of that? What if we do like a mirror image? Something like that. That's pretty cool. Maybe we'll make this one a little. Let's do this. Curse you. Let's make it go in. Let's make it go in the city here. And then down. I think that's much better. Yep. And I'm going to make them see this symbol somewhere. If you want to get really crazy, you could make this like a big web. I don't know if I want to do that though. That's probably a little too much effort. And we will say that we can say that's what happened. That's what happens if they don't stop this segment. That's a great. That's how I want to do this now. So I'm going to make this pattern. Can't really copy this shape. Let's see if we can select this. Can we select all of it? And then go copy and then paste. Oh, it is going to let us do that. Okay. So now we select this one. And then just turn it a bit. No, this is a bad idea. Hang on. Yeah, no, we will just draw it. So basically, unless you haven't seen what I'm doing, I'm basically making Amaris the center, and then there's going to be these segments like this. Like a giant spider web, basically. And this is where all of the points will be located. And so then this will then join to this, like that. Keeps putting me on pink because that's what my character is, but so then that's going to be the location of another one. And then so that's going to be the location of another one, and then down here, oh gosh, really? Every single time? Okay. So then we're going to have it like this, like this, like this, like this, and then like this. And that'll give us some sort of idea. I mean, ignore this as a drawing. I am I'm just making stuff up at the moment. So I wouldn't say this is the exact locations of things, but it's close enough to where I can start going, okay, what's in this location? Let's put something, let's put a thing there. So where these two lines cross is where the, so that's in the C ward, so let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. So on the corner, C ward from the markets. So basically there. Vandil Street? Well, it's either there or there. It's close enough. And I will probably ignore this one and just make these straight like that. So let's clear all these drawings and get a better idea of what we're doing. Okay. So I can basically put these anywhere because I did show them, but it wasn't exact. So I'm going to put one there, and then we're going to draw a line. Can we draw a polygonal line that is exactly what I wanted? Let's draw a line from here to here. And then we have one here and one here. So what we want to do is make this go to here. So it's pretty good. Okay. And then we can draw the other one. From here to there. Perfect. Okay. So that's the segment that we're going to use. And all the ones that they need to find are in that segment. There will be another segment down here. So from here, say to here, so there'll be one there, and then we'll go back down here, like this. And then a third segment to here, probably, like that. Could just be a diamond, honestly. It could be some sort of demonic shape. Do we have... Just so you know, so but basically the end game of this, just so this weird writing makes sense, we're going to have, these are some of my earlier notes and things like that, but we're going to have Tiamat in this. Not herself, but she is going to get summoned, and the idea is that there's a ancient Dracolich, blue Dracolich, who's currently, he gave Via's powers, although Via doesn't know it, because he's a dragon, whatever, sorcerer, like, gets his power from dragons. And that's interesting. There's this one here. I wonder if I can copy that image onto it, so it's more flat and wide. Let's clear this again. So let's go freehand from here. Oops. And it's more straight, so it'll be more up here. Let's draw this in pink. It's okay. So here to here. It's almost a flat line across. Okay, so it's a flat line across. That's going to be harder. Let's clear these drawings again. What if we make it across here? That's hard to get that one in it. What if we make it across there? And it's going to go that way. But anyway, that is Tiamat in the ancient Akkadian language. For those who are not familiar with ancient Akkadian, let's have a look at what we're going to do with this. So basically, we want just to make the shape. I think we just want to go like this, and then this. And then it's down to here, up to there, and then we have another line going from here to here. I think that's the symbol. Yeah, it's a little, it's more like wedges, but I wonder if we can blow this up. that's much better. Yeah, because see, it would have been written with like a pressing into clay. So that's why these shapes look like this. But anyway, I think that's quite good. So now we need to move this and see if we can. Yeah. No, it's not all one shape. Let's select it all and see if we can just move it around. Yeah, cool. Okay, so let's put a point there and then tilt it like this. Tilt it like that. If we make it like that, so it fits. Point comes here. This goes along the line to there. And there'll be one in there, one down here, one here. And then what's the... This is a bit complicated. Maybe just that. It might even be better. Yeah, I think I like this shape better. It's the Red Hot Chili Peppers logo shape. Let's delete this. So we go 1. Oh, this isn't polygonal. 1, 2. 1, 2.